Hey Stampers, it's Judy Klock here coming to you for a demonstration tonight. It is not live, although it says it is live. I am pre-taping this. I got just some other stuff to do on Thursday night. I've got my workshop, my monthly workshop tomorrow night that I have to prepare for, and I've got a craft show on Saturday. So I needed to kind of use my time wisely tonight and help get ready for all the stuff that's coming up this weekend. Anyway, tonight this is like the last of our final goodbye tour. We're going to take one last look at Cup of Tea, and then starting next Tuesday with our live at lunch, we're going to start looking at some of the new stuff that will be coming on May 2nd. So this is the end of our farewell tour, but we're going to work with our Cup of Tea. I love this stamp set, really fun to work with. And we're going to do a really simple stamping. For our first one, we're just going to use the Memories and More card pack that came. They were cards and envelopes. They were a pack of 10, or maybe it was a pack of 20 with 4 of each color in all of the this year's new in color. So Orchid Oasis, Starry Sky, Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, and Tahitian Tide were all the colors. They came with matching envelopes. So really great for a beginner to make like a quick and easy card to get started. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a little bit more gorgeous die cuts that came with this set. There were 17 matching dies. We're going to go ahead and do some of that die cutting to make a little bit more of a stepped up card. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I've got one of the Memories and More cards here. I believe this is the Starry Sky card. And I'm just going to I have a piece of the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. This is cut to 2 by 5.5. And we're just going to, the back is kind of the same pattern. Isn't that funny? I didn't even realize that when I picked out this one to work with. I just wanted something colorful to kind of offset the deeper blue here. So we're going to just go ahead and just add that to our card front. Then we're going to need a piece of basic white. And I forgot to cut my piece, so let me go do that now. We'll need a piece of basic white that is going to be, I think it's 3 by 3. Or 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. I'll cut this one 3 by 3, and if that isn't right, then we'll come over here and we'll trim it down just a little bit. It was either 3 by 3 or 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Let me see. Oh, I was right, 3 by 3. Wow. Okay. Sometimes I actually can remember stuff. All right, so these are photopolymer stamps. So I'm going to pull in our Stampin' Pierce mat. And we've got this beautiful striped tea cut, and we're going to stamp this in our Sweet Sorbet. I just love these new in colors. And the ones that are coming are really pretty. They're much more muted. They're more earth tone for the 2023, 2025 in colors, but they are still pretty. These, the 2022, 2024 are very vibrant. Whereas the other ones are definitely much more muted and earthy. But each of them are beautiful in their own way. All right, and then we're going to take our Parakeet Party. I'm going to stamp up. This is the one that looks like leaves. And just remember, when you're inking up your stamp, just tap, tap, tap. You don't have to press hard to get good color on there. I want to make sure that I get this all on here. Okay, that's looking pretty. And then we're going to come in. I think I came in with some Orchid Oasis, just a little bit of the lighter blue. I should have had my stamps off to my right. It's very cold in my basement right now, even though it's like 80 degrees out. My husband has the AC cranked, so it's a little chilly in the basement. So I have my sweater on just until I kind of warms up a little bit. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to just put this, there's really no right or wrong way where this goes. I'm just going to kind of put it where I like it. So there, we've got our pretty little flowers. All right, now we're just going to go ahead and add that to our card front with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, and if you have not yet shopped the sort of last chance sale that is going on until May 1st, like on 11:59 p.m. Central Time on May 1st. And of course, everything is while supplies last. So some things are already gone, but you can still get some good deals. So if you haven't gotten the cup of tea yet, or if you want these beautiful note cards, or you want the designer series paper, the Tea Boutique designer series paper, you still have a couple of days to get it. So go ahead and, give it a shot if you want to get it. Now we're going to add some rhinestones there just for a little bit of bling. Let's get some of this stuff out of our way. Try to keep my desk relatively clutter-free, but it doesn't always work. And I'm just going to kind of put some of these on definitely the two bigger flowers in the centerpiece. And then I might just put a third one. I like to do things in an odd number, just kind of right here at this little flower. And we're going to call that card good. So again, a very simple stamping card for somebody who's maybe just starting out. Use those beautiful Memories and More card pack, the Tea Boutique Memories and More card pack. They come with matching envelopes. You don't even have to decorate your envelope. It's already done for you. And that is our first. The one thing I was going to do, I was going to stamp thank you on the inside. I forgot. Let's pull out, because I like doing thank you cards, our Work at Oasis, and we're just going to stamp a thank you. Here we go. Perfect. All right. Now we're going to call this one done. All right. So again, very, very simple card. We're letting really our cardstock and our designer series paper, or Memories and More card pack and our designer series paper, do a lot of the work for this card, and that's perfectly fine. But you see, by using this piece of designer series paper, we pulled in the other colors we needed. We pulled in the Sweet Sorbet, we pulled in the Parakeet Party. Of course, we have the blue from the background on the card. So that's kind of why I wanted to use that pattern of DSP. Okay, for the next one, we're going to use our Petal Pink. It's a base of Petal Pink. It's 8.5 by 4.5. Scratch that. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So it's your standard A2. To the inside, we're going to add a piece, of basic white that's 4 by 5 1/4. All right, we need a piece of designer series paper. Again, the lovely Tea Boutique. That's 4 by 5 1/4. Then I took a piece of basic white. This piece was probably about 3.5 by 5, 3.5 by 4 3/4, 5 maybe. And I used the scalloped contours. This is the second largest scalloped contours die to die cut this. Now these dies will carry over into the new catalog, so don't worry, this beautiful die will still be with us. And then we're going to use our dies. We're going to cut out a piece of Sweet Sorbet just using this teacup die. So as you can see, I've already done that. I've cut it out. I have not stamped on it. Okay, just cut it out because I'm going to use this intricate die right here. This cuts out the outline of the teacup and the outline of these leaves. So I'm going to cut this out of our Petal Pink. But what I did was I put an adhesive sheet on the back prior to die cutting, because that will make this much easier to adhere to this teacup when we are ready to go. Then we're going to stamp, or I did actually stamp, this little tiny stamp here. It's kind of like the tea bag label, like that's the tea bag. This is the tea bag label. I guess like your Lipton label. So I stamped that in Parakeet Party just for a bit of contrast. Of course, I can't pick it up now. And then we die cut it. So that's this little die here. That cuts out your label. This one cuts out your tea bag. So there's lots of good dies in here that will cut out, they'll cut out the flowers that we stamped on the first one. It'll cut out a lot of our stamped images. All right, so let's go ahead. We're not doing very much stamping on our scalloped contours piece. We are going to stamp a sentiment. We're going to stamp Take care of yourself. All right. So has everybody seen the new catalog yet? Two questions. What is your favorite new in color? And what is the first stamp set you're going to order? Go ahead and let me know. Leave a comment. Let me know what's your favorite new in color. Even for the color refresh. What's your favorite new color that's coming this year? And then what stamp set are you most excited about and are you looking to get? All right, let's go ahead and start putting our card together. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to adhere our basic white to the inside of our card base. Okay, so again, pretty simple. Okay, and I'll do a corresponding blog post with all the measurements for you, so you can check that out on my Stamping with Crafty Klock page. I will leave a link to the blog post down below in the description for this video tomorrow, because I have to write the post tonight. And then we're going to go ahead and let's get our teacup together. Now, if you are using the adhesive sheets, and you're going to notice like there are all these intricate little pieces, right, that are cut out. We don't necessarily have to punch them all out first, because when we go to take off this covering that's covering the double-sided adhesive, if I can go ahead and get it up, what you'll see is that a majority of these pieces will come out. Now watch, it's gonna make a liar out of me. That's a big enough piece. I can pull that one out. But it should be that a lot of these littler pieces will actually come out. Okay, now it's not going to do what I wanted it to do, because I'm here to show you what it should do. There we go. There we go. Now, as you take this off, see those pieces coming out? So as you rip off the adhesive backing, most of those pieces will come off. Now, there are a few that are left, and if I just kind of stick my finger over them, they will pop out. And there we have. So we don't have to spend hours picking out all of those pieces before we remove the backing. As you remove the backing, the vast majority of pieces will come out. And then all you have to do is just pick out one or two little ones. And like I said, if you just stick your fingers over them, it'll usually come right out. Now we can line this right up. I have a real problem lifting things today. Okay. So this should line right up with this outline. So just pick an area to start. I'm going to start with like the bottom of the cup. Okay. And I'm just going to very carefully make sure that I am lining up all of my edges. And there you have it. Now, there we've got it. Okay. So I want to add our little tea bag tag. A little tag. I want to add that to the outside. So I'm going to cut a piece of our baker's twine. I'm going to use sweet sorbet. Actually, maybe I'll use the parakeet party. Let's use the parakeet party to match our tea bag. So I don't need very much of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little tiny bit of adhesive on the back of this little die cut, because that is going to hold this in place. Okay, now I need to decide where I want to put this. I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive. Okay, and we are going to stick this outside of our teacup. Right now we're just going to drape this over the back, and we're going to cut it. If I can find, there it is. Like if I can find my scissors back there somewhere here. All right, so I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive and just stick the end of that baker's twine on that piece. All right, so now we've got our tea bag, right? We've got that. We're going to go ahead and add this to our front, but we're going to do that at the very last, because we're going to put this on our page with dimensionals. But before we do that, I want to do one more little thing. I did not like the way just kind of the white on the white looked. I wanted to add a little bit of color to the edge of my paper. So I took our Petal Pink stamp pad, I took a dauber, and I am just going to add a little bit of color just kind of at this edge, not going beyond the stitched line. That's kind of like how I'm using that as my guide. If I go up that high, that's fine, but I don't want to go past that stitch line. And we're just going to add a little bit of color to these edges. Okay, so it's just going to give it just enough contrast that it will offset from the majority of that white piece of DSP. I mean, there is some color on it, but it's the majority of it is white. And having this other big white piece on there, it needed a little something, something just to kind of make it stand out. So this is a very quick and easy way to add a little bit of color to your edges. Just add a little bit of ink on there with a dauber, and there. You can put on as much or as little as you want. That'll dry. Now, can you see how much the better that looks? It's not just that kind of big white piece on the white. So sometimes just adding a little bit of color to the edges can really change the whole Megillah, as they say. All right, let's go ahead and add them. I'm down to my corner pieces here for my dimensionals, but you know what? Corner pieces work, and they work great. All right, let's go ahead and add this. Oops, if I can get these off. Okay, all right. Now we're ready to add this to our card front. Okay, I'm just going to center that. Okay, so a great card just to give to somebody who might not be feeling their best. We're just going to finish up by adding a couple more dimensionals to the back of our teacup. Okay, we're going to place our teacup right on there. And then we're just going to finish off with some dimensionals for a little bit of bling. I feel like my hair is like in my nose. All right, I'm just going to use my pick tool to just kind of add some of these rhinestones. Okay, and that is our second card for this series. So again, this one is going bye-bye on May 1st, midnight Central Time on May 1st, 11:59. I'm sorry, Mountain Time, not Central Time, Mountain Time. Will be going away. So if you love this set, if you love the Designer Series paper, now is your time to go ahead and get this. And I hope that you enjoyed this kind of little farewell tour of some of my favorite stamp sets that are leaving, but I'm excited for some of the new things that are coming next week. I think I'm going to be playing with beautiful balloons and maybe a little monkey or cheerful daisies. I haven't decided yet, but I'll plan it this weekend. All right, everybody, that's it for me. You have a great weekend. I'll see you all next week. Bye.